Good evening and welcome to our Vampire the Masquerade story called Oxford by Night. Tonight we will have the debate of the sect politics between Toreador Samuel, who is portrayed by Yanis.
Hello.
And our dear seneschal, Lady Katherine Harrow, portrayed by Valeria.
Hello.
Previously, we end up in the office of the old Joseph. After he finished his debate, Samuel asked for the audience. So we will relocate to the office of the seneschal, where you both comfortably sit down. Service provided by the ghouls offer you vitale. And both of you sat down opposite each other in Lady Catherine's office. As a reminder, the office is old. It's not serviced as it's supposed to be. There's tons of dust everywhere, cobwebs, and similarities indicating that no one was using this office for decades. Old yellow papers on a desk that is massive, wooden, very extravagant for the days that it was in use. A massive mirror on the side that's showing one empty seat behind the desk where Katherine is sat down. And many books, old books, on the sides, sometimes in the piles. Plenty of candles that are not lit. And 2 glasses of the wine filled with a warm blood. What do you do?
I offer him the blood and the wine, and I say, "So Samuel, tell me what you need."
So here we are, I say as I take the glass. This was not supposed to be like this. It was not supposed to be like this. This changes everything. Assuming Joseph is telling the truth. But why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he?
I see you're troubled, to say the least.
That's a rather big understatement. One hell of an understatement, Lady Katherine. All this time.
I partially can understand how you feel.
You can't you?
If you're here, I suppose you need some answers or to clarify some things that you think are not clear enough.
That, indeed. I will. How much of this did you know?
Practically all of it, except for the things that happened when I was already in Torpor. But I know a good part of what happened.
And you knew whose child I was. You knew who embraced me. You knew all this. And
I knew your sire, and I think that I never met a kinder person of him. Literally no one could date him. Neither I. Even if circumstances brought me to ate him. But
And
I not.
and yet, nevertheless, it's like my sire made the choice he made, not because of moral reasons or humanitarian ones, but because he was in love. I've been living a fucking lie for the last 100 years. Yeah. Apparently, we do not exist. Well, maybe congratulations are in order. You have one less enemy, apparently.
I can understand that your perspective about the Camarilla was different because, of course, your sire and Malcolm taught you some things, and I can imagine. Actually, I know, I'm sure of it, that they told you things about me that brought you to hate me.
Well, I'm going to be as honest I can be right now. You are, I don't know even what tense to use, a part and the representation of most of the things I hated. Okay?
I can understand, yes.
But nevertheless, what I find out is that because of this whole situation, I'm not sure I even have enough reasons to hate Camarilla anymore. We're supposed to be anarchs. We're supposed to be freedom of choice and to the ability to and to have the ability to care. And I had none of those, and apparently I have none of those.
Do you think that we in the Camarilla don't care about anything or anyone?
I think that in the Camarilla you care more about your internal politics instead of, well,
Feelings?
you know, well, yeah, feelings, human lives. Hey, if someone is going to get a better position, if a couple of humans die, hey, it happens, right? I've seen that happen.
This is not wrong. I cannot deny it. But you need to understand that for our kind to survive, sometimes difficult decisions is needed to be made.
Easy. And how many difficult decisions should one take to ensure survival? How big the body pile must get eventually for survival? Well, after, and honestly, can you honestly say to me that none of you have sacrificed people who have done nothing to deserve it, just for their own personal gain, with barely any political excuses to cover it up? Not even actually with the most easy excuse that I will be doing monstrosities to get said position, whatever that position may be, to do good. Not even that. Most of the time, I've seen ambition being enough excuse on its own for
Samuel, not just humankind dies. The rules are the same for everybody. Even our kind is subjected to the rules. This is why, yes, the rules. The rules that let us kind to go on in the centuries, in the millennia. And we are, all of us, we need to follow the rules, the laws, because this is the reason, this is the way we can go on.
Laws that were dictated from an ancient era, from beings far stronger than us, and in a different society. But we are not in the Dark Ages anymore. And the last time I've seen, Camarilla was never, should I say this? Well, an advocate for change, if I will.
You know why? Because things are always the same, Samuel. Centuries can go on, and humanity can change, but we are always the same.
Yes, we are always the same, but our ways shouldn't be. Look at humanity. They are evolving, and even if we ourselves cannot, we can at least try to keep our own rules to the time, so they will not, so they won't catch up to us, at least. They won't take notice of us. But nevertheless, we insist on ancient rules without adapting them, without even, some of us not even realizing why they're following them, besides that we do not want to die. Well.
It's not exactly like that. Just think about the law of the domain, okay? A certain domain belongs to a certain vampire, and that person, that kindred, has the responsibility to surveil that domain. Why? Because this is to avoid that another vampire can go there and feed on humans indiscriminately, causing trouble. Each rule has a meaning. It's not just like the joke of ancient vampires. I understand that sometimes the feeling to follow ancient rusty rules can be present. But believe me, these rules exist for a reason.
But that's what you're not seeing. The reasons themselves have changed. Understanding that, hey, this is my place, so I'll take care of it, does not need to be dictated by ancient laws. We can think of that ourselves, pretty much. But thinking the humans that live in said place as merely possessions?
It's a flock to take care of. Listen, I know that you've been told that freedom is everything, that you can take your own decisions, and this look really amazing at the first sight. But this apply, and this is amazing, just if you are the kind of person who uses what it is for a good purpose. Can you imagine if beasts without control go around completely free, without caring about any rule, doing whatever they want? I can assure you that that can finish with chaos as well. Because not people are like you, not everybody are like your sire, caring for humanity, doing all the right thing, being generous and kind to the people. No. You have no idea about the kind of vampires I knew in my past life. I have no idea. And I can assure you that this solution, the Camarilla, is the best solution I know. Because if you think that Camarilla killed indistinctly humans, you know nothing. You have no idea about what really it is out there.
Have you ever been to a human war, Miss Harrow? A human war with normal guns. Humans killing humans. Constantly, in the battlefield.
You have no idea about
Have
what
you?
I went through. Yes.
Be that as it may. I have been to said battlefield decades ago. It was proof for me at the time that regardless of inner nature, anyone can be or become a monster. Our kind has it easier to slip into the darkness. But the difference is that the humans, even the ones that are very close to that darkness, there is a chance of salvation. If we lose our humanity, we cannot go back. And I understand that it should be our burden to bear, to hold our kind back. Because, well, not everyone is like my sire. But shouldn't we all try to be?
Knocking interrupted your words.
Excuse me.
Of course.
Come in.
The door slipped open just a little bit, and you can see a ghoul of Lady Katherine, Andrea, walking into your desk, handing you a piece of paper. Andrea is a tall man, nearly 2 meters tall, very well built, in a dark suit, with a short haircut and blue eyes. He spoke in Italian, saying they're waiting outside. And on a piece of paper, you can see it's an audience request from Jezebel.
Let her in.
He went out and closed the doors behind.
Looks like Jezebel is joining us. Will be interesting.
Well, at this point, well,
In a moment, the doors open, and you can see well-presented man, Kindred, for sure, with a very long dark hair, in a very expensive suit, stating the fashion for maybe 1900. Dark, black, like an abyss, indicate that he is your clan, Katherine, and the shadows cover his clothes. He's pale. That indicate that how pale it is. It does indicate how far away from his humanity he is. Are dark veins going underneath his skin, proving diablerization. The diablerie made more than once, at least, go through his face, underneath his eyes, on his neck. His teeth are exposed. And the moment he saw both of you, he smiled with one side of his lips. He bowed in the middle of the room, and you can see behind him 2 of your service ghouls bringing in Jezebel, unconscious. They rest Jezebel on a seat next to the Samuel. How Jezebel look like? She's a tall person. Her face is burned with the red glowing marks of unknown origin. She had a black hair, bones coming out from the middle of her forehead, long jaw. Her eyes are open, filled with blood. She got some sort of shirt on herself, probably belonging of the gentleman who came with her. Her legs, naked, exposed, covered in dirt, blood, and those marks. Same for her hands, and probably the rest of the body. Good evening, Seneschal. Good evening, young Anak. Yes,
Do I know this person?
you see him for the first time in your life.
Good evening. May I know why I have the pleasure to have here tonight?
As I promised, I delivered Jezebel. Where is Prince Alexander?
Unfortunately, I think you are not aware about the events of the last week. Prince Alexander is no more.
What a shame. Well, she
Shame.
looked at Samuel. That was a long stare, you could say. Full of judgment.
I look at him the same way.
My name is Wayne Carter. I am to be called Son Sentenced. And I struck a deal with the primogen of Camarilla and Prince himself. And I kept my word. She pointed at Jezebel. Where
What's the
does
deal?
that lead us? Well, I had a past. And due to my curse of action against the Sabbat, my past is to be remain in the past.
So, are you asking to be admitted inside of the Camarilla?
I am admitted to be free. As my elder, you must understand that from point zero, I can go to any direction, but first I have to reach the point zero, my dear.
I will need to speak with the primogen about this.
Well, that's less satisfying than I hoped for. But what do you want me to do now, Lady Harrow?
Well, give me just a moment. Wait here. And
Of course. Maybe Mr.
Come on.
Wayland gonna keep me company.
If I
Samuel,
must.
excuse me for a minute. I will be right back.
Of course. Duty calls, after all.
I exit from the office and I go to the primogen chamber to see if Joseph or anyone is around.
Katherine, I will come back to you in a moment. Samuel, you have been left with this creature that is far away from being a kindred, far away from being a human. It's a beast. It's a beast who's stroking the hairs of Jezebel gently and with care, moving her hairs on her head between his fingers. It is a pleasure to meet you, Atla, Mr. Wayland. I heard so many things about you.
By whom, if I may?
Your name and surname appears many times in high places. Even Zoltan Khan have his attention on you.
Is that so?
That's what I heard. Member of my coterie is successfully assigned intelligence, as you like to call it, inside Zoltan Khan's haven. He got his eyes on you, Mike.
Well, that's something that was unavoidable at this point. But, well, and that person that does intelligence with you?
Of course.
I assume that you're still in contact.
Of course. A bright young soul. Very motivated to gain power through the information flow.
That is a wise course of action. Intelligence is everything in a war.
I don't believe that, but it seems to work. I believe that resources are the main.
Even an army of 10 can beat an army of 100 that is better equipped if they know how they're going to deploy and when.
Exactly.
Hence my opinion about intelligence, but that person for you.
I hope I didn't interrupt it much. It is very unusual to see an Anak chatting with the Seneschal.
We are living through unusual times, after all.
Are they unusual times?
That depends on who you ask. But
You? He smiled
well,
sarcastically again. You're not sure to read him. Is he rude or is he nice? It's something in between.
well, one might say that the situation that we're going through is the unavoidable crescent of decades of fighting.
Of course.
But what do you think about the times that you're going through?
I think that the jihad is upon. I think that most of us will not make it to the end of the month. I think that somebody's working hard so the Moth Queen will rise. This cult came in a convenient time and use source of powers that are unknown to me. Yet it's hidden behind the Second Inquisition attack and the war between the kindreds itself. So while the family is fighting, only smart one will survive.
Well, you referred to the Moth Queen?
Did you not came across them? The moths that are taking control over the kindreds. One of my coteries on sentence died because of it. Funny fact, he did not turn to ashes. Yet he become something like lair for them, and hundreds of them exposed through his corpses. disgusting.
It sounds horrifying.
Yeah. Anyway, Prince Crane asked us to look into the matter. But now that he's dead... Wow. Do you think Primogen can be trusted?
Are you truly asking the Anarch in the room for their opinion of the Camarilla?
The person who asking you is the person who is from the Sabbat and turning the elder of the Sabbat to the Camarilla just to survive. We all do what we need to survive. Besides, between you and me, we know that elders will die soon.
Well, I would say that trust is a strong word, but I think that a bargain made will be one kept, if deemed appropriate.
I would believe that if Crane would tell me that.
Well,
In the meantime,
I'm not...
sorry.
Of course.
Catherine, you enter the chamber, seeing only Fate
Mm-hmm.
talking on the phone, an old form of phone. You could hear him shouting in Spanish. As you know this language a little bit, you know he is bargaining. He's trying to strike a deal about the release of someone. But a few seconds after you entered, he smashed the phone against the wall. His eyes turned red, yet he maintained the beast in cage. He just got really angry.
Is it a wrong moment?
I don't remember a good moment in the last century, my dear.
I just wanted the information if I can.
I'm not sure that I can provide any, but try me.
One of the sun sentenced who Prince Crane asked to deliver Jezebel is in my office with Jezebel. I need to understand what Alexander promised them in case of success of the mission.
What I know about the Sun sentence in general, it was unarrested misbehavior. Crane told him to execute all the kindreds that are on hold with the sentences. And unarrested did not listen to his order. He spared some of them. And because... Sorry, go on. Well, the second part's come really quick. Unarrested was supposed to be hanged for it, put to ashes, but because he and Crane used to be friends, Crane said that it's a brilliant idea and that there's a cause in an insanity of Malkavians, so he created a second Sun sentenced, his own, and gave them the other tasks.
I understand. Do you remember what he promised to them?
I never heard it.
Right.
But
I want to be
clearly,
sure because
the unlife.
I see. Thank you, Fade. I will let you do your thing. Did you see Joseph around?
He's with that Greek Malkavian inside his office.
I see.
And I'm not getting any close to them.
Good choice. Thank you then. I will let you do your job.
Yeah.
And I go to my office again.
You start crossing the walls when somebody waiting in front of your office.
Oh.
You can see Nosferatu, who is covered in bandages, pretty much mummified, yet still have a hoodie on it and some kind of truck trousers. He's barefoot, his feet are also mummified. His hands, every separated finger, all is covered in bandages that are old and stinky. Only one eye is exposed from the bandages on the face. A piece of one ear. He bowed to you.
Do I know him?
No. He's the youngling.
Okay. Good evening.
Good evening, madame. Please do not allow me to intrude. Yet at any spare time of yours, the Undercity sends me with the information.
My office is a little bit crowded right now.
Of course. Yes, Jezebel. Of course, yes. Why? We know.
It's your job to know, so I am sure. Let's find a corner to talk privately.
I can wait, if you don't mind. Your schedule, your agenda must come first.
Good.
We do.
I hope it will be fast.
Your humble service, my prince.
Thank you. See you in a bit. And I go straight to my office, entering in.
So, as you were about to say another word, Katherine entered the room. Dwayne automatically turned, facing you.
I close the door behind me. Apparently, you can keep your own life.
Brilliant. Can I have that on a paper?
What?
Can I have that on a paper? Can you write the letter with your sigil?
Of course.
I just like to present it to that sheriff of yours and make sure that, well, rest of my coterie will work themselves for the same letters, I believe. So expect their visit soon.
I understand.
Does that include the person that you mentioned to me? The one doing intelligence?
Well, she will show up, I believe, sooner or later. Yet, like I said, she's a youngling.
What I would like to know is what will you do afterward? Because I suppose you will stay in this domain. Is this correct?
Not sure.
Well, not sure is not the answer. I need to know if I have some fledglings going around or not.
As for
Because
now,
if you stay, of course, you are submitted to the rules of this domain.
but of course, as we spoke, past is a past. I am obliged to aid my coterie with their tasks. And I will remain in the Oxford city for the time being to aid them, and I believe no more.
I would like to know what will all of you will decide in the next night.
Would you like me to ask them to pop in and introduce themselves?
It will be better, yes.
Of course. Yet, unfortunately, two of us departed already. One, I think, a grandchild of Jezebel. or grunt, child of Jezebel, departed, killed by the Legion. The other one, I don't remember his name, died by the cult of the moth.
The cult of the moth.
Yes.
What happened?
Sorry?
What happened exactly? I would like to know the details about it.
He drank something. Blood mixed with something, some sort of the poison that make him saying and going insane on some sort. And then he fell on the floor, dead, corpses, yet not turned to ashes. And the moth came out from his throat.
This is another thing to add to the puzzle, thank you.
And you said that he drank something, correct?
Yes. But
And
once again, I was ahead of investigating Jezebel in her prison. Other members of my coteries are dealing with the moth stuff. I'm not big on cults, so...
I see. I sit again behind my desk and I write for him the paper with my sigil.
Sure. The moment you gave him a sigil, he bowed. Receiving letter. Should I do anything with her, or do you want me to just leave her here?
Question for the storyteller. Do we have a place for a keeper?
Definitely, you can ask Andrea to get paid and lock her up somewhere safe.
Okay.
I'm being.
I volunteer.
I send a message to Andrea, to the shadows, telling him, come here with Fade and escort Jezebel, keeping her locked.
Sure. And
I say to the person in front of me, yes, you can leave her here and go.
he bowed back. It was very nice to meet you, Mr. Wayland. May the Father of us all guide you. He bowed.
May you reinvent yourself in the best way possible.
I'll do my best. And he left. In a few moments, Fade, Andrea, and approximately 6 more harpies and ghouls came with a coffin, put Jezebel to a coffin, lock her on like 7 different locks, which 2 keys from those locks, Katherine, you got it. And they took Giuseppe outside. And Samuel, Katherine, you are again alone in the office. Yes.
Question for the storyteller. Do I see which else took the keys?
Fate took the rest of the keys.
Okay.
I save my keys in my pocket, of course.
Please update your inventory.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Okay. I will need to ask a moment more of your patient, Samuel, because someone from the Undercity will need to talk to me. I'm sorry.
I understand, but if I'm going to be completely candid with you, if you would not mind, I would like to be present. This is... I know it's a lot to ask, but if you'd indulge me at the moment. If you do not, of course I will leave, but...
You need to give me a good reason why I should let you listen to Camarilla's business.
Well, since I look around to see if anyone is listening or something, that kind of look. Well, since that there are no anarchs, apparently, and The Camarilla is the only organization that tries to uphold some kind of order.
You change your mind fastly.
No, not change of mind, not remotely. Not yet.
I will do this as a sign of good faith, though. Okay? Of course, wherever you will listen inside of it, it's private. It's, I think, ridiculous that I need to say it, but I will anyway.
Of course. And I would like to... Never mind. Please invite the person in.
Okay. I go to the door, I open, and I make a sign to the Nosferatu to come in.
The Nosferatu was waiting in the exactly same spot that he was standing when you saw him. He did not move. And when you invite him in with a gesture, he starts limping towards the office. What both of you can say is that definitely the Nosferatu is here for the first time as his head starts to move towards different directions and look around your office.
Please, have a seat. Sorry.
For a moment he did not believe what he heard. But then he nodded and sat down. Very quickly stand up. I wish not to destroy your fine privilege, my prince.
First of all, replacing a chair is not a problem. Second of all, I'm not the prince yet, so please call me Seneschal because this is my role.
He started moving aside from Samuel. Like, he moved next to the wall, like he's afraid of him. Have I heard too much, my Seneschal? Am I in danger, your highness?
Why?
Why this murderer is here?
Murderer?
The executor of Zoltan Khan.
The what now?
Zoltan Khan point fingers towards the domains. And Samuel Wayland sent his humans to extract the kindreds. He is the murderer of our kind. He is the murderer of family.
Were you working
in trouble.
Samuel, were you working with the Golden Charge?
Oh my god.
Your golden god?
Lady Katherine, I did not do so knowingly or willingly. Just to make it clear.
Convenient.
Convenient? You dare to say convenient?
Sorry. I do apologize.
Apologies. Apologies will not bring those... I'm responsible for the deaths of many. And I was given to the impression that I was doing it for the good of the people. So choose your words very carefully, little one. Because right now,
I wish not to go on your bad side.
I wish I had no... I wish there was not a bad side of me that you are familiar with.
No one
I
is
wish-
familiar with the good side of you, I suppose. From all I know, my seneschal, Mr. Wayland is responsible for extermination of the Hecata in the Oxford, of the ministry in the Oxford, Ventru within the domain of Oxford.
Fucking hell.
He led the Second Inquisition towards those clans that did not bow to Zoltan Khan.
How did you obtain this information?
I am everywhere. I am many ears and many eyes. My seneschal.
I thank you for this information.
It is not what I came with. This is just something I shared because you sit with that thing. And I would like to make a pause in here. Samuel, the moment the Nosferatu covered in bandages calling you that thing, well, you know the respect you build up for 100 years is gone. At least self-respect. The Undercity in the next few nights is about to pledge their allegiance, you would say. Some called Kevin Darlington to be ahead in the pulse of ruling the Undercity. But there are those who thinks that the change must come, and they want the American Nosferatu to
Giuseppe.
claim the place of the Elder.
You know that some accusations are on Giuseppe. So the law must be respected, and I need to solve this thing. I'm not saying that I will dust him or I will condemn him directly, but I will do something about it.
And about
And if-
what sins are you aware, if I may ask?
Breaching of the Masquerade, and the fact that they killed his sire in the Undercity.
And the fact that he embraced the ghoul without the permission, which becomes an inconvenience due to the fact that the ghoul of his is running around with Legion.
I wasn't aware about this. But
And the
surely,
fact that he break the tradition of domain, entering the Oxford uninvited and without welcoming himself to the Elysium.
no. I wasn't aware about the last few things. And thank you for telling me. Anyway, I will provide to make the rules respected and for the responsible to be punished.
It is your
And-
call, Seneschal.
Well, apparently Kevin is not exactly enthusiastic about being the elder of your clan, but I can talk to him. You will have a worthy leader, I promise. A worthy represent, not leader.
I believe my clan wouldn't like to hear what you just said.
I understand, and I apologize. But understand that there are really troubling nights, and I need to keep the domain all together. Of course, the choice will be yours, not mine. This is clear.
Now, if I may, he reached to the pocket of his hoodie and gave you a piece of paper that is mantled into a ball.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I come.
I open and I straight to the paper to read it.
There's nothing written on it. It's just a bunch of ash.
Oh. I look at him like, yes?
My mother. Darling. Von Reddington. Her ashes has been found in the Andes.
Do you know how it happened?
I could smell utter riad.
Thank you for letting me know.
Male.
Mail turn.
Are you trying to imply that I killed her?
I'm trying to imply that she was Diablo.
I will find her responsible. I swear it. Your mother deserved this at least from me.
I know you had a long relationship with the Darlene von Reddington. I can't judgment.
One question before you leave. When did that happen? Did the smell tell you the intensity of it at least? An approximate time?
In less than 24 hours ago. If the Nosferatu doesn't know the same night, they don't know at all. And I am... Correction. We. Better in gathering the information than you. You monster.
What is your name?
My name is forbidden and forgotten. They tend to call me Boo.
Thank you for letting me know about your mother's destiny and all the rest.
Send Andra for me if you ever need. My future prince.
I will. Thank you for your service.
May I leave now?
You're free to go.
Without ado, he quickly left, out the doors, once again having a glimpse on Samuel, and shut the doors behind.
I simply stare at Samuel on this point.
Well, had a lot of guts apparently. A lot of guts I had apparently. Blamed the caparilla for a pile of corpses.
Tell me what's happened, and make it that I believe you.
What happened? Well,
Weren't you aware about all of this?
You think I would do this if I was aware? If I had any knowledge of this, do you actually think... No, I wasn't.
Someone tricked you then.
Malcolm tricked me. You think? No. It's not what... It's not how it was supposed to be.
Just, I need to know, what were you sure you were doing?
Helping our kind. Misleading the ones that hunt us. That was supposed to be my job. But apparently...
You can only imagine how our numbers diminished because of this.
I know almost every action I took to mislead someone and guide them somewhere else. The hunters, to guide them to another location, something false, another target. And I used to do so with pride. That's why I remember. And every single action I took
Was against us.
Yes. I've become great. I've become such a monster that, hey, you know what? Well, it has become an actual good political move if you really think about it to I don't know, create to do a blood hunt on me as the one responsible for the deaths of hundreds of our kind.
Someone fooled you, clearly. But there is a way to upside the situation to our favor, if you are willing to help. You need to turn the Second Inquisition, the Hunters, against the Church of the Golden God.
To join
To turn them against the Church of Zoltan Khan. Do what you did so far, but against Zoltan Khan.
Well, that's not how I did it. Not remotely how I did it, but, well...
I need to ask, who asked you to do what you did? It was your job, yes, but who asked?
Who is my superior, Lady Katherine? Who do you think asked me?
I need to listen to you from your mouth. This is why I'm asking.
Tate. Malcolm Tate.
You know, there was a time where when I really believed him.
Well... I owe you an apology, Lady Harrow. Well, given the new information that came to light, I had no right to treat you the way I did. So...
The dose has hope. without a knocking, you can see Joseph
Yes?
with the walking sticks in front. On his right, you can see Unrested. On his left, there's a young boy with a black purse, some sort of Iron Maiden hoodie, Matrix-like trench coat, and general goth apparition. 3 Malkavians standing in your door. One child of the another. I think we heard enough.
Were you listening?
Of course. I listen to my city. She starts to approach your desk. The goth stood behind the doors, and Unrested closed the doors from the inside and put his back on them, crossing his arms. First of all, congratulations on obtaining Jezebel. What I believe we should do now is send the bloodhounds on the way of the clandestine. We cannot have his kind running free on our cities.
His kind?
Yes, his kind, the Sabbat. Hundreds of mortals are in danger.
Yes, of course.
Exposure of our kind is in danger.
I will sense the blood on.
Katherine, I missed you. I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to Unrest. I was pleasant enough to inform you about my intentions. But it's the Unrested that's gonna hunt him down and turn him into ash. The fact that you are here conversating with that being, look at him, makes me trust you much less. As he just admitted to working for Zoltan Khan multiple times.
Unknowingly, if that's anything.
He's a hero for the Church of Mitra. So I think he should meet the day.
He wasn't aware about it.
Oh yes, let's excuse that.
I'm not
That's
excusing
a good
it.
reason.
It's not a good reason. I'm saying that I'm not disposal to waste the resources we can use against the church. Sorry.
So before the death, we can dominate him to do as we want.
I will, if it will. This will make you.
May I offer a humble suggestion?
Let's say yes.
Don't get me wrong. Death would be appropriate.
Very likely.
Likely. Not likely. Definitely. But if that is going to be the case, I would like at least a chance to do some good, apparently, before I go. If you'd allowed me this last kindness, even though I don't deserve it, I would, well,
No.
yeah. No. Well,
He turns towards Katherine. You're here, embracing your emotions towards that tool. Why you waste time, lady? Things are going quicker than they used to do. And we have a war upon us.
Yes. And I'm trying to understand to this child that probably what he despised so far, it's not that bad. And probably someone always lied to him. And probably our way is not that bad. And probably what is taught, it's totally wrong, and this is why he can help us. Seeing what is Camarilla.
Camarilla is survival. Does someone who can be lied for 100 years is a child. He wasn't born and embraced yesterday. He haven't done that once. From Liverpool to London, Scotland, Ireland, France, England. He was killing for Zoltinka internationally. And saying hundreds would be an understatement. He can help us. He has to help us. And after he will die as an example of how Camarilla treats the church. Because we need to show power. We need to show strength. And by sacrificing him, we will show. We will show the church. We will show Thin Bloods, or the Domain and Sabbath, that Oxford belongs to us. Am I wrong, Lady Harrow?
You are not generally. But considering our current situation, I wonder where merely surviving brought us.
He starts vomiting on you. Your desk, Samuel, Katherine, you are all in his vomit of blood. It is constant stream. It is not like just a little bit. No, it's liters of blood. And after he finished, when you both stood up from your chairs, when your desk is swimming in his blood, he fell.
Unconscious?
Yes. Unrested started walking towards him.
Same.
He lifted up his stick, his walking cane, and he started touching him. Father. He looked at you. What have you done to him?
I've done nothing. Do you think I could do something like that to him?
I don't know.
I check his body, like touching him, seeing if there is something wrong.
He's cold. His tongues are exposed, his clothes are full of blood that he vomit.
It's still going on? Vomiting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Scott, the doors has opened. And other than the Goth Malkavian that is with them, you can see he opened the doors, yet on his right hand he's holding a saber. A very old saber that he's holding against Fade and Mr. Briggs. He clearly did not allow them to come in. Yes, father. Inform the other side. Yes, father. With his left hand, he starts to send text to the phone. And Faye just stood him on the side. He started to come into your office. What happened? Unrested took a breath to start saying he pushed him to the wall. I'm not asking you, Malkavian. Kate?
I don't. Joseph started to vomit blood and it looks like he passed out, but it doesn't make sense. I don't know what's going on.
He started to sniff. May I?
Yes, sure.
He lifted his body and put him on your desk. Started to sniff. Mr. Briggs is like, ugh. On the side. He entered the room because curiosity won. Yet he's next to the wall in a corner. Can you dominate him to get up?
Can try. Are his eyes open?
Yes.
Okay. So I use Mesmerate to say, like, get up.
Well, you compelled him and it didn't work.
Not working.
I can sense his beast.
Could magic do this?
If I don't know what magic. His beast is unresponsible.
Oh no.
Dormant or worse?
I don't know. I can sense the beast even of those in torpor. Weak, yet still.
Lady Harrow,
Yes.
We were told before of something similar happening. Remember? By the previous visitor?
Yes.
May I?
Yes.
I go and I open his mouth to see if there is
Empty.
maybe empty. No.
So you can see 2 or 3 golden teeth. Probably back from the old pirates' days.
The moment Samuel does not want to have anything with gold. No.
And the rest is
That's-
left, closing his doors behind him. Spade, look at him. Who would gain from ending Joseph, from turning his own? He looked at you, Katherine.
Let's carry him into his office, and we'll figure out what happened.
I'm not sure it's wise to move him. I would say that Remere should look at him.
We were just talking. At that point, started to vomit like a river out of his mouth. I don't know. Nosferatu came a few minutes ago from the Undercity.
Boo. Yeah, I know him.
Yeah, and before him, the sun sentence I told you. They were speaking about the moth cult, someone drinking blood with something else and starting to vomit and then dying, but not in ashes. Do you think? Yeah, exactly. That.
Fuck that. Sad face. Step aside from the body. like it would have a disease that he can cause. Are you really intending to allow the bloodhounds on that La Sombra?
Every time I take a decision, Joseph bursts in and shuffle all my ideas upside down.
He's well known for that. That's what the Brick said.
I asked the La Sombra to let me know what we do. If stay inside of the domain or left. What do you suggest?
The point that unrested will hunt him. I would recommend to speak with him in any free moment or just drop him a text.
Yes. Do you think we can use this guy, this La Sombra, or it's just a waste of blood?
This is your clan. Your inside politics of your clan. I don't get involved in that, Kate. I simply don't. And I leave it to your judge. The last person Joseph spoke with was Dr. Di Marco Polo.
Yeah, I was aware that they were talking. I will ask Giorgos what happened.
Suspicious.
Do you know something about?
Could
Do you know? I'm asking Fade. Do you know something about this Giorgos? Because Joseph told me something really not unpleasant last night.
What do you mean?
Joseph told us that he was embraced by a certain Mistress Amanda inside the Sabbath. I'm asking you if you ever heard about he or his sire in the past years.
He looked at Mr. Briggs. Who's smiling?
Sorry?
He looked at Mr. Briggs.
Mm-hmm. Like he wants a private conversation.
Mr. Briggs is smiling. And those of you who possess the heightened senses can hear that the moment you mention Mistress Amanda, his heart started beating fast. Which is exactly the same thing that Fate realized.
Yeah, it's on him as well.
Do you want to tell us something? Douglas? Sorry? I was miles away. How can I help?
We were wondering if you know something about the person I just... Oh, 1 second ago.
Mistress Amanda?
Yes?
I am familiar with that person, yeah.
Would you like to share, please?
She's a famous person,
Famous?
of course.
In what way? If you don't
In
have...
her fields of expertise.
Which
also.
are?
Pleasures and desires, I would say.
Oh,
Okay. Something else that we
Kinky
should...
fucking human, get out! Half-blood. Briggs, get out. Quickly and afraid of fade. Disgusting.
his nature gives him some more human vices. Our kind has our own. His nature is closer.
If you will want to question Briggs about it, you can do it when I leave. He
No.
approached once again. Jesse. Doctors tend to call the time of death. Any of you know anything about the medicine?
Don't think so. No.
Well, 1 second. Greatest time for my PC to lag. I do have some knowledge.
So come here.
Samuel does come there.
He exposed his body, ripping off his shirt and clothes, and what you can see is a very pale, even quite bluish torso of an elder kindred, full of white hairs on it. You can see that the place where the rotted organs should be is quite bumped, you would say. His stomach is filled when it's supposed to be of the size of a raisin, rotted inside his corpses. You can see something moving underneath the skin of his stomach, making the skin move here and there.
Do I have a blade on my desk?
Certainly.
May I?
take... Yes.
I make a small incision on his stomach. Around 5 centimeters.
You start to cut with his skin, which is quite difficult. Well, you do not possess the strength, and the blade isn't the sharpest. Yet, no blood starts to reveal itself. The odor of dead corpses hits your nostrils. And in a few moments, inside the cut, you could see a little insect legs showing up in the wound.
I grab it.
Crawl out. You take it out from the wound?
Yes, I grab it.
It's a moth, approximately 8 to 10 centimeters big, regarding spread at the wing, covered in something like old blood, but not a lot. Enough to stink, not enough to change the color of the feet. The colors of the moth are black and green.
I keep it in my mouth and I in my mouth, sorry, in my hand. And
Okay.
there is no toy. We don't need mod here. And I show it to Fade. It's not the first time that this happened.
He looked at the stomach, and when the movement is still there.
There is another one.
I think there is definitely more than another one.
I would recommend to leave and close this office.
For good, if possible, yeah.
You
Do you want to leave it?
You do not have any other entrances to this office, don't you?
Do I have? No, it's the only one.
It's gonna be best to keep it locked. Until we're
want to-
gonna know what to do.
Okay. Well, let's go.
What do you do with the moth that you got in your hand?
I crash it.
No, wait. I
You
said
did
before.
not succeeded.
I cannot.
You tried to crush it, yet you barely squeezed it, actually, with all the strength that you possess. A moth
Lady Harrow.
starts to, trying to escape your hand, start to
Lady Harrow.
fucking-
It doesn't work. Look, it's too tough.
In a jar. We'll
Yeah.
need it for future reference. Too.
I already saw one of these mods, and I asked Theodora, the primogen of the Tremere clan, to look at, but she really couldn't understand
it-
it.
Was it a live one?
Yes, alive.
Oh.
Anyway, it could be useful. Do I have something like a little box or a jar inside of my office?
You can have some, not a problem.
Okay. Yeah, I take like an
You
I don't know, I
empty
would
the box for letters and you put them out there, you put the lid on it.
exactly.
Not
Okay.
a problem. You left the office and Fate put the latch on the doors. It wouldn't be a bad idea to cover it with shadow.
Yes, I was thinking exactly the same. I put my seal of shadows on the lock.
I think it's time for the primogen to meet.
Yes, I agree.
Without Joseph in the picture, we are in trouble. As fucked up as he was, he's strong. Which leads us weak without it.
I know.
I think it is time you claim the throne of the Prince, Katherine. Or appointed someone.
You're right. But I don't know who could take this place and keep
I
this
know.
role.
You are full of doubt. But that just proves you are a good leader.
Thank you, Fate. I hope to prove it. If I will become the prince, for real.
I will gather the rest. And I would like to speak with Dr. Dimako
Thank you.
about recent events.
Yes. See you in a bit.
I shall keep you informed. He walked away. And this is when we're gonna finish this episode. Just before the cancelling of Bridge. Thank you all for joining the Oxford by Night. And I hope we're gonna see you shortly.